Every great accomplishment in history started with a vision. Whether it was landing on the moon, building a revolutionary company, or transforming education, it all began with someone daring to see a future that did not yet exist. A vision is not just an idea. It is a deeply rooted belief in what is possible, even when others doubt it. It is what separates those who merely exist from those who create, innovate, and lead. A strong vision provides direction, fuels motivation, and serves as a compass in moments of uncertainty. Without a clear vision, actions lack purpose, decisions lack clarity, and challenges become overwhelming. But with a vision, even the most daunting obstacles become stepping stones to something greater. Too often, people limit their potential because they confine their thinking to what is familiar, comfortable, or currently achievable. They set goals that are small enough to fit within their current circumstances rather than expanding their perspectives to what could be. This is where thinking big matters. It requires challenging assumptions, questioning limitations, and imagining a future that is radically different from the present. Thinking big is not about wishful dreaming. It is about shifting your mindset to see possibilities where others see roadblocks. It is about breaking free from the restrictions imposed by fear, doubt, or societal expectations. The world's greatest innovators were not people who followed conventional wisdom. They were individuals who looked beyond what was considered possible and pursued something greater. They thought beyond their current abilities, resources, or status, and took steps toward an ambitious goal. Thinking big, however, is only the first step. A vision without action is nothing more than an idea floating in the air. Acting on that vision is what turns it into reality. But this is where many people hesitate. They wait for the right time, the perfect circumstances, or a sign that guarantees success. The truth, there's never a perfect time. Those who achieve extraordinary things don't wait. They start. They take small but intentional steps toward their vision, even when the path ahead is unclear. They understand that clarity comes from action, not from waiting. The most successful people in any field were not necessarily the most talented or the most prepared. They were the ones who started before they were ready. They took risks, made mistakes, learned from failures, and adapted as they went along. There is a misconception that thinking big means having all the answers from the beginning. But the reality is, no one has everything figured out at the start. The process of achieving a bold vision is one of discovery, learning, and iteration. Acting bigger means making decisions that stretch your capabilities, taking on challenges that force growth, and stepping outside of comfort zones. It means being willing to experiment, take risks, and fail forward. It requires resilience, adaptability, and the ability to push through resistance. Every breakthrough in history faced resistance, doubt from others, setbacks along the way, and moments of uncertainty. But those who stayed committed to their vision, who acted despite fear, and who persisted through difficulties, were the ones who changed the world. One of the biggest barriers to acting bigger is the fear of failure. People hesitate to pursue ambitious goals because they fear what others will say, they fear making mistakes, or they fear that they are not good enough. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the process. Every failure carries a lesson. Every mistake refines your approach. Every setback strengthens your resilience. The key is not to avoid failure, but to embrace it as an essential ingredient of success. Those who think big and act bigger do not see failure as an endpoint, but as a stepping stone. They understand that each failure brings them closer to success because it provides valuable insights that can be used to improve and adjust their approach. Thinking big and acting bigger is not just about personal success. It is about creating something meaningful, something that impacts others, something that leaves a lasting legacy. The greatest leaders, entrepreneurs, and changemakers in history did not act just for themselves. They acted because they saw a purpose beyond personal gain. They understood that their vision was not just about what they could achieve, but about how their achievements could inspire, uplift, and transform others. When you align your vision with a purpose greater than yourself, you tap into a level of motivation and perseverance that goes beyond temporary setbacks. You begin to operate with a sense of mission, a drive that keeps you moving forward, even when the journey gets difficult. The question is not whether you have the potential to think big and act bigger. You do. The real question is whether you will allow yourself to step into that potential. Will you let go of the limiting beliefs that keep you playing small? Will you take the first step, even when the path is uncertain? Will you commit to continuous learning, adapting, and pushing forward despite challenges? The difference between those who achieve great things and those who don't is not intelligence, luck, or resources. It is the ability to hold on to a bold vision and take action, again and again, until that vision becomes reality. Bold decisions are the foundation of success. Every great achievement in history started with a moment of courage, a decision to take a risk despite uncertainty. Playing it safe and sticking to what is familiar may feel comfortable, but comfort does not lead to breakthroughs. People who achieve extraordinary things understand that progress requires stepping into the unknown, making choices that stretch their limits, and embracing the possibility of failure. Failure. Bold decisions are not reckless. They are intentional, calculated, and driven by a deep belief in a greater purpose. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stagnant is not intelligence or resources. It is the willingness to act despite fear. Fear is a natural response to the unknown, but it should never be the reason for inaction. Those who think big and act bigger acknowledge their fears but refuse to be controlled by them. Instead of asking, "Well, what if I fail?" they ask, "What if I succeed?" Instead of focusing on worst-case scenarios, they focus on possibilities. They understand that regret from inaction is far worse than the discomfort of taking a risk. Making bold decisions means letting go of the need for absolute certainty. Many people hesitate because they want guarantees. They want to know for sure that their decision will lead to success. But certainty is a myth. There is no perfect plan, no guaranteed outcome, no path without obstacles. Those who accomplish great things accept that uncertainty is part of the journey. They take the best information available, make a decision, and commit to taking action. Even if things do not go as planned, they adapt, learn, and continue moving forward. The truth is, hesitation kills more dreams than failure ever will. Opportunities are fleeting, and waiting too long to make a decision can mean missing the chance altogether. Bold action creates momentum. It attracts new opportunities, new connections, and new ideas that would never have surfaced if one had remained stagnant. Now, failure is an inevitable part of making bold decisions, but it should never be seen as a reason to stop. In fact, failure is a sign of progress. It means you are pushing boundaries, taking risks, and challenging yourself to grow. The most successful people in any field have failed more times than most people have even tried. They do not let failure define them. They let it refine them. They analyze what went wrong, make adjustments, and keep going. The ability to recover quickly from failure is what sets high achievers apart. They do not dwell on mistakes or let them erode their confidence. Instead, they use failure as feedback, a tool for improvement, and fuel for their next bold move. Every failure carries a lesson, and those who embrace failure as part of the process become unstoppable. One of the biggest barriers to making bold decisions is the fear of what others will think. Others will think. Society often rewards conformity and discourages risk-taking. People worry about judgment, criticism, or being perceived as foolish if their decisions do not work out. But those who think big and act bigger do not seek validation from the crowd. They understand that real innovation, real impact, and real change never come from following the majority. Bold decision-makers focus on their purpose and trust their instincts. They know that every breakthrough idea was once considered unrealistic. They know that every great leader was once doubted. And they know that staying true to their vision matters more than seeking approval. Failure is not the end of the road. It is simply part of the journey. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has a story of failure behind them. The key difference is that they did not let failure stop them. They used it to fuel their progress. The path to success is not a straight line. It is filled with twists, turns, and setbacks. The most important thing is to keep moving forward. Those who think big and act bigger understand that failure is temporary, but quitting is permanent. They use failure as motivation, a reminder that they are taking risks, pushing boundaries, and growing stronger with every challenge they face. And foes. To make bold decisions, one must develop a mindset of resilience and adaptability. Things will not always go according to plan, and unexpected challenges will arise. But instead of seeing obstacles as barriers, bold decision makers see them as opportunities to learn and grow. They remain flexible, willing to pivot when necessary, and open to new strategies. They understand that progress does not always happen in a straight line, And sometimes the best opportunities come from unexpected directions. When one door closes, they look for another. They do not dwell on what did not work. They focus on what can be done next. In the end, making bold decisions and embracing failure are not just about achieving personal success, success. They are about pushing the boundaries of what is possible, inspiring others to take action, and creating a ripple effect of change. The world needs more people who are willing to think beyond limitations, take risks, and challenge the status quo. Dude, the choice is simple. Stay safe and remain the same, or take bold action and create something extraordinary. Those who dare to think big and act bigger are the ones who shape the future. Failure is often misunderstood. Many people see it as a sign that they are not capable, that they should give up, or that they have reached the limit of their potential. But in reality, failure is one of the most powerful learning tools available. Every great innovator, entrepreneur, scientist, and leader has encountered failure, and not just once, many times. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is how they respond to failure. Those who think big and act bigger do not see failure as an endpoint. They see it as a stepping stone, a necessary part of growth. Instead of feeling defeated, they analyze what went wrong, extract lessons from the experience, and use those lessons to improve. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the path to success. The most successful people in the world have failed more than others have even tried. The reason failure is such a great teacher is that it provides direct feedback. When something does not work, it forces a reassessment. It makes people look at their strategies, their decisions, and their approach with a critical eye. This self-reflection is invaluable because it leads to refinement, adjustments, and ultimately, improvement. Without failure, there is no real progress. People who avoid failure at all costs often find themselves stuck in mediocrity, never reaching their full potential, because they never push themselves beyond their comfort zone. They are afraid of making mistakes, so they play it safe, avoiding risks and missing out on opportunities for growth. The reality is that success is built on the lessons learned from failures. Every mistake teaches something new, every setback strengthens resilience, and every obstacle overcome adds to a person's ability to navigate challenges in the future. Failure also builds mental toughness. Those who embrace failure develop a mindset that allows them to push forward despite difficulties. They learn not to take setbacks personally, but to see them as part of the journey. They develop the ability to recover quickly, adapt to new circumstances, and continue moving forward with even more determination. This resilience is what separates those who achieve extraordinary things from those who stop at the first sign of difficulty. The ability to keep going, to persevere through hardship, is what creates long-term success. Many people give up too soon, just before they are about to make a breakthrough. But those who understand the value of failure keep pushing forward, knowing that each failed attempt brings them one step closer to their goal. Another crucial element of thinking big and acting bigger is surrounding yourself with the right people. Success is rarely achieved in isolation. The people around you influence your mindset, your beliefs, and your level of ambition. If you are surrounded by those who think small, who doubt your ideas, or who discourage you from taking risks, it becomes much harder to pursue big goals. On the other hand, being surrounded by people who challenge you, push you to do better, and inspire you to think bigger can accelerate your progress in ways you never imagined. The right environment fuels growth. It provides support, motivation, and valuable insights that help you move forward faster. Many people underestimate the power of their social circle. They assume that their success is solely dependent on their own efforts, but in reality, the people they interact with daily have a huge impact on their potential. Being around high achievers naturally raises the standard of what you consider possible. Conversations shift from limitations to opportunities, from problems to solutions. The right people hold you accountable, encourage you when you feel discouraged, and push you beyond what you think you are capable of. If you want to achieve great things, you must be intentional about who you allow into your inner circle. Seek out mentors, collaborators, and friends who share your drive, your ambition, and your vision for something greater. Another key factor in long-term success is consistency. Many people start with big ambitions, but few follow through. They get excited about their goals, take some initial steps, but then lose momentum when results do not come immediately. The truth is, success is not about short bursts of effort. It is about sustained, consistent action over time. Over time. Those who achieve great things understand that consistency beats talent. It is not about being the smartest, the most skilled, or the most fortunate. It is about showing up every day, putting in the work, and continuously improving. Small, consistent efforts compound over time, leading to massive results. Consistency is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Many people talk about what they want to accomplish, but few take the necessary steps every single day to make it happen. It's like, they wait for motivation, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. The most successful people do not rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. They build habits that keep them moving forward even when they do not feel like it. They understand that progress is often slow, that setbacks are part of the process, and that real growth happens when they keep going despite challenges. The combination of learning from failure, surrounding yourself with the right people, and maintaining consistency creates an unstoppable force. When you embrace failure as a learning opportunity, you remove the fear of taking risks. When you surround yourself with people who inspire and challenge you, you elevate your thinking and unlock new possibilities. When you stay consistent in your efforts, you build the momentum necessary to turn your vision into reality. Success is not a one-time event. It is the result of continuous effort, strategic decisions, and an unshakable belief in the vision you are working toward. Those who think big and act bigger understand this, and that is why they achieve extraordinary things. Success is not about having the best resources, the most talent, or the perfect circumstances. It is about having the right mindset, the belief that growth is always possible, that obstacles are opportunities, and that taking action, even in uncertainty, leads to progress. A growth mindset is the foundation of thinking big and acting bigger. It is the belief that skills, intelligence, and abilities are not fixed, but can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. Those with a fixed mindset see challenges as threats, avoid difficulties, and fear failure. But those with a growth mindset embrace challenges, push through difficulties, and see failure as a stepping stone to success. They understand that no one starts as an expert. Mastery is a process, not a starting point. A growth mindset allows people to see possibilities where others see roadblocks. See roadblocks. Instead of saying, I can't do this, they say, I can't do this yet. Instead of fearing mistakes, they see them as feedback. They recognize that the most successful people are not those who never fail, but those who learn from every experience. The power of a growth mindset is in its ability to turn setbacks into fuel for improvement. When people believe that their abilities can grow, they push themselves beyond their comfort zones, take on bigger challenges, and become more resilient in the face of adversity. This mindset does not eliminate difficulties, but it makes them easier to overcome. It turns problems into puzzles to be solved, weaknesses into areas for improvement, and competition into motivation to become better. The power of purpose is another key to thinking big and acting bigger. Without a strong purpose, goals lose their meaning, motivation fades, and challenges feel overwhelming. Purpose is the driving force behind persistence. It is what keeps people going when obstacles arise, and what fuels them to push forward when others would give up. Those who achieve great things do not act simply for personal gain. They act because they are driven by something greater than themselves. Their purpose is bigger than short-term success. It is about impact, transformation, and leaving a lasting legacy. People with a strong sense of purpose are not easily discouraged by failure or setbacks. They understand that every challenge they face is a step towards something greater. They see the bigger picture and remain committed to their vision, even when progress is slow. Purpose provides clarity, helping people make better decisions by aligning their actions with their long-term goals. When challenges arise, purpose serves as a reminder of why the struggle is worth it. It fuels resilience, providing the energy to keep going despite difficulties. Purpose-driven individuals do not rely on external motivation. They have an internal drive that keeps them moving forward no matter what. Taking massive action is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. Many people have big ideas, but few take the necessary steps to make them a reality. Thinking big is important, but it means nothing without action. Those who act bigger do not wait for the perfect moment. They start where they are with what they have. They do not let fear of failure stop them. They take risks, knowing that every action brings them closer to their goal. They understand that success is not about one big breakthrough, but about the accumulation of consistent, strategic actions over time. Taking action means stepping beyond comfort zones and doing things that feel uncomfortable or uncertain. It means making decisions quickly, learning from mistakes, and adjusting as needed. It means putting in the effort every day, even when progress is not immediately visible. Those who take massive action do not wait for conditions to be perfect. They create momentum through effort, persistence, and continuous learning. They understand that waiting for inspiration is a mistake because action itself creates motivation. The more they do, the more confident they become, and the more confident they become, the bigger they act. The final key to thinking big and acting bigger is removing self-imposed limitations. Many people do not reach their full potential, not because of external obstacles, but because of the limits they place on themselves. They believe they are not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough. These limitations are often based on past experiences, societal expectations, or fear of failure. But the truth is, most limitations are illusions. They exist only in the mind, and they can be broken by challenging beliefs, taking risks, and proving to oneself that growth is possible. Those who remove their self-imposed limitations achieve things that once seemed impossible. They recognize that growth happens at the edge of discomfort, so they push themselves beyond what they think they can do. They challenge their own doubts, replace negative self-talk with empowering beliefs, and take action despite fear. They understand that greatness is not reserved for a select few. It is available to anyone willing to break free from limitations and take bold action. When people stop seeing themselves as limited, they open the door to limitless possibilities. Success is not about luck or talent. It is about mindset, purpose, action, and the willingness to break through limitations. Those who think big and act bigger do not let fear hold them back, do not wait for permission, and do not settle for small thinking. They embrace growth, pursue purpose, take massive action, and push beyond their limits. That is what leads to extraordinary achievements. The question is not whether you have the ability to succeed. The question is whether you are willing to take the necessary steps to make it happen. Every great achievement starts with a vision. The ability to think big begins with seeing possibilities beyond what currently exists. It is about imagining a future that others cannot yet see and believing in the potential for something greater. Visionaries do not accept the status quo. They challenge it. They ask, what if things could be different? And then work toward making that vision a reality. Thinking big is about expanding one's perspective, refusing to be limited by current circumstances, and daring to dream beyond conventional boundaries. It is not about wishful thinking, but about setting a bold direction and committing to it. Those who think big understand that change does not happen overnight, but without a strong vision, progress is impossible. Vision alone, however, is not enough. Acting bigger means backing up that vision with decisive strategic action. Many people have dreams, but few take the steps necessary to make them happen. Those who achieve extraordinary things do not just think about their goals. They take action, even when the path is uncertain. They understand that waiting for the perfect conditions is an illusion. There will never be a time when everything is completely certain. Instead of hesitating, they start where they are with what they have. They make decisions based on their long-term vision rather than short-term comfort. They understand that bold action creates momentum, and momentum leads to opportunities that would never have surfaced otherwise. The biggest obstacle to thinking big and acting bigger is often fear. Fear of criticism and fear of uncertainty hold people back from taking bold steps. But those who accomplish great things do not let fear control their actions. They acknowledge their fears, but push forward anyway. They understand that fear is a natural response to stepping outside of one's comfort zone. But they also know that growth only happens when discomfort is embraced. They do not wait for fear to disappear before taking action, because they know that confidence comes from doing, not from waiting. Each step taken in the face of fear strengthens resilience and makes the next step easier. Those who let fear dictate their choices remain stuck, never realizing their full potential. Taking bold action requires not only courage, but also adaptability. Thinking big does not mean having all the answers up front. The world is constantly changing. And those who succeed are those who remain flexible. They understand that their initial plans might not always work out, but they are willing to adjust. They do not see setbacks as failures, but as feedback, opportunities to refine their approach and improve their strategy. They are not attached to a single method. They are committed to the end goal. If one way does not work, they find another. This adaptability allows them to keep moving forward, regardless of obstacles. Those who think big and act bigger do not see change as a threat. They see it as a chance to innovate, grow, and discover new possibilities. Finally, many people start with excitement but give up when results do not come quickly. Those who achieve great things understand that success is a long-term process. It requires showing up consistently, even when motivation fades. It requires putting in the work every day, even when progress seems slow. They know that every step taken, no matter how small, brings them closer to their goal. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is often not talent or intelligence. It is perseverance. The ability to keep going, to push through obstacles, and to stay committed to the vision is what leads to extraordinary achievements. Those who think big and act bigger understand that success is not about instant results, but about relentless effort over time. They keep going when others stop, and that is why they reach levels of success that others only dream about. Success begins with a willingness to see beyond limitations. Too often, people confine themselves to what feels possible based on their current circumstances, experiences, or what others believe to be realistic. But those who achieve great things do not let limitations define them. They refuse to accept boundaries imposed by society, tradition, or fear. They understand that what seems impossible today can become reality with the right mindset and effort. Thinking big is about questioning assumptions, challenging norms, and believing that innovation and change are always possible. It is not about ignoring reality, but about refusing to be controlled by it. Instead of asking, "Can this be done?" they ask, "How can this be done?" This shift in thinking is what allows people to break through barriers and create new opportunities. However, having a vision is not enough. Action is what transforms ideas into reality. Many people have great ideas, but only a few turn them into something meaningful. Those who act bigger do not wait for the perfect conditions or for someone to give them permission. They take responsibility for their own progress. They understand that success is not about making one perfect decision, but about making a series of decisions, learning from mistakes, and continuously improving. They take calculated risks, knowing that playing it safe often leads to stagnation. They move forward with confidence, even when they do not have all the answers. The ability to take action despite uncertainty is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. One of the greatest obstacles to thinking big and acting bigger is self-doubt. Many people fail before they even start because they convince themselves they are not capable. They tell themselves they are not smart enough, experienced enough, or talented enough. But the truth is, success is not reserved for a select few. It is available to anyone willing to put in the work, challenge their own doubts, and push past fear. Those who achieve extraordinary things are not necessarily the most gifted. They are simply the ones who refuse to let self-doubt stop them. They understand that confidence is not something people are born with. It is something that is built through action. Every step forward, every challenge overcome, strengthens their belief in their own abilities. To think big and act bigger, surrounding oneself with the right people is crucial. Environment shapes mindset, and the people around us influence what we believe is possible. Being surrounded by those who are negative, who doubt our ambitions, or who settle for mediocrity can make it harder to reach for big goals. On the other hand, being around those who push us to be better, who challenge our thinking, and who inspire us to reach higher accelerates growth. Successful people intentionally seek out mentors, collaborators, and peers who share their drive and ambition. They know that the right environment fuels success, making it easier to stay motivated, focused, and committed to the vision. Thinking big also requires resilience. The path to success is never a straight line. There will be obstacles, failures, and setbacks along the way. Those who act bigger do not see these challenges as reasons to stop. They see them as part of the journey. They embrace failure as a learning opportunity, knowing that every mistake brings them closer to success. They do not let rejection discourage them or difficulties break their spirit. Instead, they develop the mental toughness needed to keep going. They recognize that persistence is often the difference between success and failure. The ability to keep moving forward, to push through difficulties, and to stay committed even when results are not immediate, is what leads to extraordinary achievements. In the end, thinking big and acting bigger is about taking full ownership of one's potential. It is about refusing to settle, constantly challenging oneself to grow, and taking action even in the face of uncertainty. Those who achieve great things do not wait for opportunities. You await them. They do not let fear dictate their choices. They move forward despite fear. They do not let failure define them. They use it as fuel for progress. The question is not whether greatness is possible. The question is whether you are willing to do what it takes to achieve it.